Hello. I feel like when I'm not as upbeat or I'm not as happy about the movie that I just saw, you're going to get a different vibe and energy from me, especially starting this out. What's going on, everybody? My name is Mike Brown, aka Review King MB, and this is. Fuck it. I'll add it to my 31 days of horror movie reviews. And I decided to watch, for whatever reason, The Meg 2, The Trench, I think, which is one of the lamest subtitles for a movie I think ever. I mean, that screams direct to video or direct to TV type movie release. But no, this was in theaters. Imagine that. I guess a big part of the reason, as I veer off, why I decided to watch the sequel, because I didn't really have interest in it. I didn't even see it in theaters. I didn't bother. I waited till it came out. I watched it because I did see the first movie in theaters, and I kind of had fun with it, right? I don't remember anything from it. I don't remember a whole lot from it, but I remember Jason Statham versus a big-ass shark. We jump into this sequel, a 2023 movie that was directed by Ben Wheatley. And the opening scene, they try to be clever. They try to do this interesting thing that, honestly, probably this scene should have been in the first film. Like, the beginning of the first film. Why is this at the beginning of the sequel? This scene doesn't mean anything. And if you're going to do a scene like this, I'm talking about the same scene that's in all of the trailers, so you basically have seen the scene. It's like 5 minutes long, of prehistoric times. Dinosaurs are roaming the earth. A T-Rex is showing its dominance by killing these creatures until a Meg shark comes out of the water and kills the T-Rex. I mean, the Jurassic Park / World sequels have done this enough times to piss me off. Let's kill off the T-Rex because we want to try to show that this new dinosaur is bigger and tougher. So that was very lazy and uninspiring and unoriginal. We get reintroduced to Jason Statham's character, and I saw Jason Statham with a bunch of characters that he supposedly knew or was friends with. I saw him with this little girl that I was like, who is that girl? What's the relationship going on between them? I completely forgot that he started dating this girl's mother in the first film, and something happened to her, so he's now her stepfather. He was the stepfather of this little girl. I'm sitting there for half the movie going, who is this little girl? Until I had to re-look up the first movie and say, oh shit. So maybe that's my fault, or maybe this movie didn't really need a franchise, because who gives a shit about that plot point? But Jason Statham, he's the typical character that Jason Statham plays. I don't need him to play anything different as far as being the badass, the guy that does his own action scenes. I mean, we need to appreciate, if nothing else, appreciate how long Jason Statham has been doing fighting. Like the beginning of this movie where he's fighting a bunch of random guys on the ship. I'm just like, man, he's been doing this for over 20 years. Give him his flowers. But also Jason Statham should be more self-aware or self-appreciative of his own talents to not do some bullshit like this. But for whatever reason, he did. Other cast members in this movie. Cliff Curtis, who isn't everything. I've been seeing Cliff Curtis, speaking of how long somebody's been doing something, he's like the most successful character actor I think I've ever seen. He's in everything. And they try to build up this relationship with him and Jason Statham like they're best friends and they go way back. But I don't believe, unless I'm forgetting something again, I don't believe Cliff Curtis was in the first movie. So to be like, hey, it's his best bud, and they go way back, and he's been jamming him out of messes, and it's like, I don't feel that relationship. You're just telling me that this is the case. Also, Sienna Guillory, I like this actress mostly because she played Jill Valentine in the original Resident Evil movies. So I saw her and went, oh, cool, let's see what kind of character she is. And she's just so paint by numbers, generic villain. The villain plot is so out of place and does not need to be here in the film. All these side characters that's going around doing nefarious things and turning on Jason Statham or trying to get him killed. Or how about the one character where Jason Statham gets knocked out while he's in the water, could drown, but instead the guy pulls him out of the water, so indirectly saving his life, only for when he wakes up, takes out a knife to start fighting him to try to kill him. It's like, you could have just left him in the water to drown. All of this just is bullshit. Speaking of bullshit, Skylar Samuels is in the film, and at first I was like, why is she here? I've seen her in other things like TV shows where she was really good and she was the main character and she had a lot of personality to her. And so I thought, okay, let's see what her character is. And at first, she's just somebody who reads off of a computer and doesn't do shit, right? So I thought, all right, complete waste. Then they do some twists with her character. Oh, she's working for the bad guys and she's gonna try to kill Jason Statham. But it doesn't amount to anything. I mean, they try to give her this big shock epic death like Sam Jackson in Deep Blue Sea, but nah. It's just not good writing, not good enough writing, and not even a good stunt casting if you're going to give a big shock kill like that. Also, I was seeing in the credits, and then I looked this up after the fact, this is based off of a novel. How the fuck is that possible? First of all, this is a sequel. But apparently this was a 1999 novel called The Trench that this is based on. So I don't... Again, explain that shit to me. I don't know how that's possible. I would hope that the novel has better writing, has better dialogue, and has more interesting characters than what I was just watching on this screen here. They have also the side plot of the characters making these Pacific Rim looking suits where it's supposed to give extra strength and help them be able to go underwater and do shit. Now, I thought this was dumb, but I thought it was going to amount to Jason Statham wearing one of these suits to like physically fuck up a Meg hand to hand. As dumb as that sounds, what they do in the third act of this movie is even dumber. So why was that even there? Why do we have the Pacific Rim suits that didn't amount to anything? Also, I don't mean to beat up this guy, but there is a cast member who, he's the token black guy. There's no other way to put it. I don't know this guy. I don't know this actor. I'm sure he's a nice guy in real life. I don't know. But he's just there to be like, oh, hell no, we can't do that. That's the worst idea ever. Man, it's just, he's so stereotypical. He's so lame that when he's the lone black character, it makes that other stuff amplified. It makes that other stuff way more noticeable for someone like me to sit there and be like, who can I identify with? Oh, that guy who's annoying as hell and has like one moment where he's able to fight off a bunch of guys but then can't do shit for the rest of the movie. What's the purpose of this character? To be funny? Well, he's not making me laugh. It's not like you got Chris Tucker or somebody... Fuck, I almost said or Kevin Hart, but I wouldn't want to see that shit. But even still, he's not LL Cool J from Deep Blue Sea. He's not even Busta Rhymes from Halloween Resurrection, who... Yes, what they did was bad, but at least Busta Rhymes made me laugh or entertained me at somewhat earlier in that film. There was bad CGI kind of throughout this whole thing. I mean, you had these smaller creatures that I don't know if they were connected to the Meg or what kind of creatures they were, but the CGI on them looked terrible. The Meg itself, there was points where the CGI was decent, but you go through like the first hour of this movie where it's so boring, where nothing happens, where you're just sitting there not giving a fuck about anything that you're seeing, about any of the characters, about any of the relationship stuff with Jason Statham and the stepdaughter and her uncle, and I don't care about any of that at all. I don't care about the twist of the villains trying to kill them. None of that was interesting. It wasn't until when the shark finally showed up on land and started killing people, but even that was lame as fuck. Even that I thought was done better in the first movie. Hell, if you want to watch a film that actually has chaotic moments, chaotic kills like that throughout the entire film, Piranha 3D. That at least knows it's dumb and decides to just roll with the bullshit. This Boring as fuck. And by the time shit goes down, you don't care that it's happening. The terrible editing. Oh, there was one scene where the uncle, the Asian uncle, where he's trying to run towards the helicopter that Cliff Curtis is at, and he's being chased by these terrible CGI things. And the editing, bouncing back and forth, how they don't even have enough time to milk the drama or milk the suspense on whether or not he's going to make the helicopter, or when he falls out of the helicopter and the explosion behind him. Like, it all happens so fast, quick jump cuts, that fuck this movie. Honestly, this movie sucks. Actually, I probably would have given it more credit if it was direct to DVD, if it was direct to TV, but this was in theaters. So fuck that bullshit. You're getting my venom. You're getting my anger. So guys, let me know in the comments below if you too saw The Meg 2, The Trench. What did you think of it? Did you like it more than I did? God bless you. Thanks for watching. Like, comment, subscribe. Later.
Soul's taken over by a devilish path. You got me walking on broken glass. Kicking down the door with a Jason mask. With a decked out machete, but you motherfuckers know it's heavy. Anytime you're ready, you can get you with a Bowie. Setting up to blow me, but the bitch don't know me. Who's going? I'm going, you know. I know that the man in the mirror is my next rival. Time goes and I never felt a living so fast. Staring at the world from the end of my glass. Turned into a dark place, sever my brain.